said, obedience, right? Like your steps are ordered. And whatever your faith is, I'm not here to impose my belief system on you. Call it whatever you choose. I call him God. But your steps are ordered. There's a divine assignment on your life. You're not just here to chill. You're here to move the dial. The dash between your birthday and your transition day was meant to create something that didn't exist before you were born. Don't sleep on that assignment, right? Because the last thing you want to do is go lay in your grave and go, dang, I didn't even do my part. Like, that's not resting in peace, right? All right, two. So who's number 2? Bring my names back up for me, please, Tanya. And then I'll know who's number 2. Thank you. Shifra. Shifra with an R. Okay, yes. Hi, what was your aha, sis?
Well, my aha was, first of all, Lisa, I have to tell you, I just love you.
I just love you too,
I've been
girl.
following you for a while. And I have Tonka trucks over here. Every time I see my Tonka truck.
You got Tonka trucks? All right, I'm going to tell that story. I'm going to tell that story this weekend.
You can tell that story. My aha was that I told the story that has been spinning around in my head and deep down in my gut that I never let out. Like it's part of my story of why I do what I do. And it was just, I got emotional. I didn't, teary-eyed, and I shocked myself that it even came, because it's never come out of my mouth the way it came out.
Oh.
So now it's not stuck anymore.
Right.
It's out of my mouth. And now I know how to tell my story, even with more ease.
Yeah.
It will flow out.
And the more you let it out and the more you curate it, and if I could help you, sis, I want to help you craft it and give it some structure. And when you have bumper rails, so when I go bowling, my dad bowl competition, so I would embarrass him because when I go bowling, I say, really? Oh, I love you. I love you. Mine didn't hit all the pins, though, like that, until I start putting the bumper rails down. And my father would go, do not put the bumper rails down. You're my daughter. I'm like, if you want your daughter to hit a pin, I need to put the bumper rails down. And so I would love Shifra to put some bumper rails down so that you can get that story out with more power, more impact. And so now that you've given it some oxygen, and we know that it needs to be told, now we're going to shape it a little bit over the next couple of days and really make it even more powerful. Celebrate her, you guys, please. Yes. Give her some love. Give her some love. And next is Missy. Is it Missy? I want to make sure I say it right. Yes?
Yes.
So what was your big aha, sis?
So my big aha is I want everyone to know how much of a miracle I am, because my story is such a miracle, and I don't know.
And what I love about that is
everyone to know.
You know that your story is a miracle, and you also know that miracles are not meant to be kept to yourself. Yes? So I'm excited about helping you. I'm excited about helping you and supporting you to tell that story. Because if your story is a miracle, then a miracle should be a blessing upon a blessing upon a blessing upon a blessing for others. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Give her some love, you guys. I love it. I love the declaration. Missy, you're on fire. All you guys are on fire. And I love the declaration, my story is a miracle. I don't think I've ever said that, but I can only imagine how good it feels to make the statement. And it's almost like you got to get comfortable owning who you are and what you've come through and how it could show up. Sis, you have your mic? Oh, great. Perfect. Well, tell us your name again.
I'm Tina. Is it on?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Tina Joy Carroll. And the first thing that was an aha moment for me was that we're all a lot more alike than we are different in our stories. And the other thing was, I think about how the shame, the regret, and the fear in me want to keep my story suppressed, because I know that whenever I get over the shame, the regret, and the fear, not only do I break generational curses in my own family,
right,
then I set other people who hear my story free and give them hope.
Yes. Like, there's 2 wins, a win-win.
Yep.
And then the other thing is there's a win for you, because you know you're showing up and shining the way you've been meant to shine. There's only one thing worse than never finding your light. It's finding your light and never sharing it.
That's right.
Because your head chatter keeps having you wonder, can I share it now? Can I share it now? Can I share it now? And so your story is a part of your light.
Yep.
Give her some love, you guys. And two,
Hi, Lisa.
hi, honey.
So, okay. I believe I need to tell my story because it could relate with a lot of people who maybe are living in their past still. And I let my mistakes and my poor decisions that I made hinder me from moving forward. And I believe that if I share what I've gone through, maybe what I did, will help other people realize that your past does not define you, your record does not define you.
Yeah.
And I just have to really forgive myself
Yes.
because you saying how us stepping into our purpose and sharing our story will help someone else overcome theirs and step into theirs. And so I'm just trying to forgive myself
Yes.
and know that I'm worth it because I also live with these words that were told when I was in high school from my dad that
Don't serve you now.
yeah,
Just say that. Don't even say the words again.
Okay,
They don't
thank you.
serve me. Say that.
that's it.
They don't say that.
They don't serve me.
Right. So tell me your name again.
Andrea,
Andrea. So I love you,
I love you.
and I can feel all your energy, and I can feel your trepidation, and I can feel your nervousness, and that's okay. And so I want you to ask me for what you need. And may I help you with that?
Yes.
Will you ask me, Lisa, please help me feel safe to tell my story?
Lisa, please help me feel safe to tell my story.
I would be honored to.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sis. Give us some love, you guys.
Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough.
Our stories need to be told. Tanya, I'm going to toss to that last story. Our stories need to be told because there's someone on the other side of our story that finally can hear it. They couldn't hear it 10 years ago, so don't worry, it's not late. So take off the gloves, saying, I should have been doing this years ago. Don't worry, you're on time. Now they can hear your story. Now you've lived through enough of it to tell it and get out of it. So I just want to share another story with you.
Sometimes I am flabbergasted and also in such honor that I have been able to live 30 years in the laptop lifestyle. You know the lifestyle where you can take the laptop to the beach. How many of you like that lifestyle? It has been for me fantastic because it allowed me as a single mom to be able to stay home and be an active part of my son's life while still building a career I loved. It allowed me to go to every single one of his home games while still buying the house, the cars, and oh, the vacations. I know how to balance life. We sometimes think we've got it all figured out, don't we? But you probably know what I was really doing. I was burning the candle at both ends. And you know what happens when you burn the candle at both ends? Beep, 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 beep. Open my eyes. All I can see was the light. There was something in my throat, and I couldn't raise up my almost 300-pound body. I would come to find out that I had been in and out of hospitals for a month. 31 consecutive days, I still don't remember. But get this, the doctors, they told me, you don't have a cancer, you don't have a blood disorder. In fact, there's no medical reason at all as to why every single organ in your body has started to fail. But it had. So you know what they diagnosed me with? Burnout. Burnout? Burnout? Are you trying to tell me that the life I love is actually killing me? See, I'm a scientist. More specifically, I'm a biologist. I made that career off of figuring out how a living organism can thrive in its environment. Why wasn't I thriving in my own? The doctors couldn't tell me. So I went back to the only thing I knew, which was science. And I did the research. And do you know what I found out? There's a lot of junk science out there. There's a lot of people calling themselves scientists who aren't. And there's a lot of scientific facts in the media that are really more like, well, should we say alternative facts? So it took me years to craft what was going on and to do the research so that I could have a life I loved that flowed with ease and grace. And I learned that there was only 5 ways that it could happen for us. I don't have time to teach us that today. But for you to have a life that you truly love, you actually only need to do one thing. Well, according to science, to put your brain and your body in what you want for life, you have to believe. Believe in yourself, believe in your dream, but most importantly, believe in you and how you feel. If you don't love your life, well, that's not success at all. I am Tanya, your speaker advocate coach, and you've got it in you. Believe it.
You got the music in you. Don't let go. You got the music in you.
Oh, I love it. You know what I love about Tanya is that when Tanya stepped on my campus, I don't know, Tanya, you got to tell me, maybe it was 3 years ago, maybe it was 5 years ago. We get locked and loaded on my campus and we become family and we never let each other go. She was very clear to tell me, I have no desire to be a speaker. I'm a scientist. No, she was very clear. She goes, and what I need you to do is to help me to deliver my scientific information better. I said, okay. And then I took her on the journey, and she's spoken on now over 60 stages. And she did a conference. A scientific science conference with a bunch of really smart people. And she had 40 minutes, and I might be off a little bit. Maybe she had like 45 minutes. And they ran out of time, and they told her, we're so sorry, you don't have all 40 minutes, you have like 19. And we train on my campus, which is what I'm bringing to this campus, we train how to get the job done in whatever time you have. Please don't tell me that you can't be powerful for 19 minutes because you have to have 40. If you're not powerful in 19, you're probably ain't gonna be powerful in 40. Right? And so Tanya accepted the 19 minutes, and I may have my minutes off a little bit, you guys. And she delivered the message. Now, mind you, it's a scientist convention. And the coordinator came to her afterwards and said, wow, I felt like we were listening to a TED Talk. And from that event, she got 5 bookings, 5 more keynotes. So Tanya's not a speaker, though. Do not tell her. She's a speaker. Do not tell her. She's a scientist. So what I really love is I really love the opportunity to use stories. I was one of the first class of bus students to the Valley in Los Angeles in the 70s, the late 70s. And I always tell the story that they told us we were going to the Valley, but they forgot to tell the Valley that we were coming. See, this was the time when LA Unified School District decided, let's do integration. Let's take the kids from the inner city and take them to the Valley so that they can get a better education. It made great sense. And we had an opportunity to have a quality education, unlike maybe some of the education that we were getting in the lower incomes. So my mom and my dad were excited. They said, Lisa, Jimmy, you guys are going to the Valley. We had no idea what that meant other than we had to be up by 5 and at the bus stop by 6:15 in the morning. And we got home by 5:30 in the evening, so we missed all of our friends playing. So it didn't seem exciting to us. But that only increased when our bus landed or drove into the schoolyard, and instead of being greeted by kids saying, welcome to the Valley, we were greeted by rocks and tomatoes being thrown at our bus by the parents. Now, mind you, this is the late 70s, and I thought the whole separation thing was done. Like, I mean, we're from LA. I'm not understanding why someone wouldn't want us to come. So my school year in 5th grade was very difficult because in my previous school, I was pretty popular, as you could probably tell. And now I'm in a school where I'm just not being accepted. And every reason why I wasn't being accepted had to do with my skin tone. Prior to that, I didn't know that anything was wrong with my skin tone because we were living amongst people who looked like me and people who accepted who I was. And so all of a sudden, I started struggling with my self-image. In walks doubt. In walks wonder. In walks self-loathing and self-frustration. And then there was the day when they said, we're having tryouts for the Charlie's Angels and the Bionic Woman. I said, oh, this will take care of everything because I can be one of the Charlie's Angels or the Bionic Woman. I'm very athletic. I'm very fast. And I don't know if I was fast because I was an athlete or I was fast because I lived in South Central. But either way, it works. And so when they had the tryouts, there were 40 little girls all in a line. I was the only little chocolate drop in line. And 40 little girls in line, all anticipating, ooh, can I be one of the Charlie's Angels? Can I be the Bionic Woman? And for them, they just wanted to be popular or wanted to be a part of the girl group. For me, I just wanted to belong. I wanted the teasing to stop. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You want something, you just want to end something that doesn't feel good by any means necessary. I see your hands up. I see your hands up. And so that was me. Sure, if I could possibly be popular again, that's great, but I just want the teasing to stop. I just want to feel good about going to school. I don't want to have the agony when the bus pulls up to the parking lot about what are they going to say about me today. I won't even bother to burden you with the things that were said. So there's 40 girls, and the first event, the first competition was the 100-yard dash. Ready, set, go. I'm in there, I'm in there, I'm in there, I'm in there. By the time I crossed the finish line, the first girl was at the 50-yard mark. Got this. Lisa Nichols wins event number 1. I'm like, yes, I'm one step closer to belonging. I just want a group of friends. I just want a group of friends. Second event. The second event is the roll, stop, and freeze sucker. Hold on. So everyone's doing their roll, stop, and freeze. They're not doing it really well because the asphalt's hot. But I had practiced the night before because I don't know what it meant to them, but it meant everything to me. It was the difference in me feeling like I was welcomed or not. So I did my roll, stop, and freeze, sucker, hot asphalt and all. I didn't move. I stayed there burning. I was laying on the ground like this, and we just laid there. I was like, yes. Lisa Nichols wins. Event number 2, I'm like, yes, I am in. I'm in. Oh, man, it's just going to get so much easier for me. I cannot wait. It's going to get so much easier for me. The last event. The last event, you had to jump over a chair like the Bionic Woman would do. Y'all know. And so all the girls jumped over chairs. Now there's only 12 girls left. And they're jumping over chairs. Some of them didn't quite clear the chair. There were a lot of dentist visits that day. Like chins busted and competition's hard, life's hard. Suck it up, cupcake. I'm ready for my turn. When my turn came, I did something that they didn't see coming. See, because I had to get in this. I had to be accepted. I went down, and on the way up, I added sound effects. I jumped over that chair. I landed on the other side. Yes, play that music. And then I did a Wonder Woman stand on. They didn't see me coming. Oh my God, I knew I had won. I was like, yes, yes, yes. They were like, Lisa, you won event number 3. The final event. I'm like, I'm in. It's hands down. 1, 2, 3. I'm in. Yes, yes. Life is about to get better right now. Stood on the line with the 6 finalists. Oh my God. You know how you know that moment. You're waiting on that moment. We're always waiting on the moment. This was my moment. They said, Charlie's Angel number 1. Kimberly. It's not my name. 2 more Charlie's Angels and the Bionic Woman. I got plenty of time. I look over at the judges, 3 girls and a guy. I guess he was Charlie. And they're all talking in the corner. I'm like, this is so easy. They just don't want to say my name first. It's all good. Charlie's Angel number 2. Diane. That's not my name. Okay, it's cool. It's cool. Charlie's Angels number 3. Cindy. That's cool. I want to be the Bionic Woman anyway. She's the best. She runs fast. She jumps. She's amazing. Yeah, I want to be the Bionic Woman. That's good. That's good. It's good. It's all good. It's all good. Bionic Woman. Linda. Maybe they mispronounced my name until I saw Linda walking by. And the alternate, I was like, okay, I'll be the alternate. Somebody got to miss school. Somebody going to catch the flu. Somebody going to get chicken pox. And when they get it, I'm right here. I will never miss another day of school just in case they do. And the alternate, Sherry. That don't make sense, though. 1, 2, 3. That don't make sense. So I stood there for a moment while all the girls are screaming and jumping up and down and celebrating, and you hear some boos from the corner, from the side, people who clearly disagree with the results. And I stood there for a moment, and I think that I decided to do the thing that I wish I didn't. I walk over to the judges, and I said, you got to help me. I'm a little confused here. See, I won the 100-yard dash, and I won the roll, stop, and freeze sucker, and I won the jumping, and I'm not sure why I didn't get picked. And the judges looked up at me, and you know how you remember the moment things change. They said, Lisa, yeah, we know you won those, but we couldn't select you because you don't look like any of the Charlie's Angels. And you don't look like the Bionic Woman. It just doesn't match. It won't work. And then one of the little girls who I guess wanted to jab and twist, she said, but try again next year if you do. And I walked away, and I remember that's when I began to hate the skin I was in. That was the day, that was the week, that was the year when I was angry at my complexion. I was angry at my culture. I was angry at where I was born. I was mad. And I didn't know how to even articulate it to anybody. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Whatever your anger stemmed from, it wasn't the same, but I was mad. And I shut down. And everything about me, my skin, everything. Then I began to notice all the things and all the beautiful people and all the advertisement and all the commercials and all the Miss Americas. I all of a sudden, for the first time, began to recognize how much I didn't look like anything that represented beauty. And man, it was like my self-esteem it was in the fast lane down. And my dad would try to say, baby, you're beautiful. I go, Dad, thanks, but you're my parent. You're supposed to say that. I was just down. I was depressed. At 18, I was 19, I was suicidal. And Narissa said something on the camera in her story. I was suicidal and I didn't want to die. I just wanted the pain to stop. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And whatever your story is, I'm not projecting that on you, but you just want the pain. So I see your hands up. I see your hands up. And then I began to slowly find my voice and slowly give myself permission to tell my story. 18 years later, I'm in a church in Los Angeles in front of 3,000 people, and I'm sharing a story that I finally got the courage to share. And I get a roaring standing ovation at the end, just roaring, all 3,000 people to their feet. And they're clapping and screaming. And it was my first time I saw something like that. And I was like, whoa, they like my story. It's okay. And I get off stage and I'm walking through the aisles and people are saying, great job, Lisa. Great job. That was amazing, baby. I was still in my 20s. That's amazing, baby. I was like, thank you, thank you. You were great. And as I'm walking through the aisles, this hand places itself on my shoulder, and this most familiar voice ever says, you were amazing. And I look back, and standing right there, touching me, telling me that I was amazing, was television's bionic woman, Lindsay Wagner. And I went, I wanted to be you. You know how your old story chased you and it takes you no matter how well you're doing, you're still dragging the old. I was like, I wanted to be you. They told me to run. I ran. I won. I rode, stop, and free sucker. I did it. And she's like, what? I'm telling this whole story. And I was like, they said that I couldn't be like you. They said that I couldn't be the bionic woman because I was black and it was as if all that stuff from 18 years ago just came and sat in my lap. And I realized I had never let it go. I was just trying to outrun it. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I had never done the work. I was just trying to outrun it. I said I wanted to be you. They said I couldn't because I didn't look like you. And she stopped me. And you know how you have a moment when someone comes in and they're your earth angel? Lindsay Wagner that day was my earth angel. She put her hands on my shoulder and she said, Lisa, I'm an actress. I live in Hollywood. She said, you, based on your story, sweetheart, you're the true bionic woman. And nobody can take that away from you. And so I ask you, you've always been who you are. You've always been enough. Your story just needs to come out of you in such a way that you own it and it doesn't own you. For so many years, that experience was one of the darkest times of my 12 years in school. Until 18 years later, I had that moment in that church, First AME Church in Los Angeles with Lindsay Wagner. Then that all of a sudden lost all of its power. So maybe it's not the story that takes away power. Maybe it's your relationship to the story that takes away the power. Maybe you can have even more power when we curate and help you craft the story in such a way that it feeds you versus drain you. What if? What if your story is your fuel? It just needs to be rechanneled. See, you can't change the events in your life, but you can change your response to the event to influence a new outcome. The very thing, and not everyone in this room is running from something, I understand that, but the very thing you push away from could be your superpower. The very conversation you don't want to have could be the best one for you. The very piece of vulnerability that you're uncomfortable with sharing could be the thing that liberates people, make them want to run behind you. When I was doing network marketing, my biggest challenge was I would gather so many people so fast before I learned the system. I was ignorance on fire and a magnet. That's a dangerous combination when everybody chasing you and following you and you don't know quite where you're going. And so I invite you, let's unearth your story. Let's rediscover it. And then let's have the courage to share it with everyone who's listening. Let's leverage it. And your story becomes your platform. You might be standing in your story, and I'm going to invite you to stand on your story. And when you turn your sinking sand into a platform, you have no idea. The story doesn't need to change. You just shift your relationship to it, and you curate and master the way you tell it. And I promise you, you will blow your own mind. So I stopped by for 3 days to stir your soul. I stopped by for 3 days to move us to a whole new ecosystem, a whole new emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical zip code. I stopped by to make you no longer fit in what you fit in on last Friday. I stopped by to open up possibility for me and for you. I'm not magic. There's no sprinkle fairy dust. I don't carry potion lotion. No wine can fit in these pans. Just nothing else can go here. But there is a possibility. And the people that you see coming to stage, they came to the campus as students, nervous, uncomfortable, a little awkward at times. And they're not perfect, but they can perfectly inspire you with their story, right? And I just want you to see that if I can do it and they can do it, you can do it. And so for a moment, just as we wrap this session, because I want to keep making sure that this doesn't become entertainment. I'm really adamant about that. Just talk to ourselves for a moment. Repeat after me. I showed up today. Say it a little louder so you can convince yourself that doesn't want to. I showed up today to convince myself of all I'm worth and all that's coming. I've done well. That's why I'm here. And I get to blow my mind with what's to come. I'm ready. And I got it in me. Take a deep breath. Now repeat after me. Someone in my family, in my ancestral lineage, they prayed for me to be here, to have this opportunity, to have this possibility, because they didn't. Take a deep breath. Breathe that in. Repeat after me. I will make my great-great-great-grandmother proud. I will make my great-great-great-grandfather proud. By who I choose to be. I will honor their life by the way I live mine. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. What you have to know is that this seat isn't for everybody, and everyone can't fit in it. Only you. And so you get to ask yourself the question, what am I going to do with this seat? And when I get up, how am I going to make it worth it? Though your ancestors may not have been able to sit in this seat, they sure are happy that you can. And let's make what you do in this seat worthwhile. And not everyone's ancestors had the same journey, but in the event that they had to mop floors and clean houses and drive buses and work at desks all day and listen to someone at the possibility that they had to do something that they didn't quite love doing, but it was all they knew to do. And they prayed in the middle of washing something, in the middle of traffic, in the middle of tears. I hope my great-great-great-granddaughter, my great-great-great-grandson never is limited of options. And now you're here with total options in front of you. Whatever you do, just play full out. Because the last thing you want is to think that you played 50% after all that sacrifice. And as you play, I'll play beside you. As you run, I'll run beside you. As you sit to catch your breath, I'll sit beside you. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And it's not in spite of your past that you get this amazing life. It's because